This is a game we've all played as kids, the red light, green light game. However, unlike the childhood version, in this version, if the turnip on the platform catches someone moving, their head will immediately explode and turn into a starry sky, and the eliminated player's blood will turn into marbles that make the ground slippery, greatly hindering the player's progress. The rules of the game are simple: as long as someone presses the end button, they win. But few survive because the turnip on the platform actually has self-awareness. If a player tries to rush toward it too quickly, it will sense them from behind and immediately turn around. Players who can't stop in time will be eliminated. As the game begins, a few students break the rules and turn into the starry sky. Seeing their classmates die one after another, the remaining students quickly unite and suggest that if they move forward slowly and press the button, they can survive. But this idea is immediately rejected by one student who, after speaking, advances the timer. With the remaining time decreasing, the group attempts to sprint toward the button. However, the turnip transforms into an elite form, and the students either. As the players struggle to stop, some slip on the blood-covered marbles and are eliminated by the turnip. After these eliminations, only the smart-eyed boy and a trembling boy who doesn't dare to move are left. Even more terrifying is that there's only half a minute left on the clock. The smart-eyed boy carefully analyzes the situation and realizes that with such little time left, it's nearly impossible to press the button while navigating through the obstacles of bodies and marbles. So, he bends down and tells the trembling boy to step on his back and leap over. Summoning his courage, the trembling boy makes the jump and presses the button in the last second, ending the game. But just as they celebrate their narrow escape, the turnip announces that only the person who presses the button can survive. The kind-hearted boy, seeing his classmates lying all around, falls into deep thought. Afterward, he meets a girl who is also a survivor. The two try to call the police, but their phones have no signal, so they attempt to flee the school. However, the doors are tightly sealed. Unbeknownst to them, the school is surrounded by a massive floating cube suspended over the city. Those inside cannot leave, and the military outside cannot enter. Meanwhile, a priest declares on television that this is the will of the gods, who are selecting their son to lead humanity and save the damned. He urges people to trust in the gods, but society falls into panic, with parents fearing for their children. What they don't realize is that this was just the first test, and already 95% of the students have perished. The girl and the boy, unable to escape, reluctantly head to the basketball court. As soon as they enter, a giant beckoning cat emerges from the ground, signaling the start of the second round. The rule for this round is to throw spirits into the basketball hoop. The huge beckoning cat shocks everyone into a confusion. But as the next phase begins, the students are terrified, frantically trying to dodge the cat's attacks. At this moment, the captain of the basketball team rises to the challenge, but was unsuccessful, leading to his tragic death. After the basketball player's death, the huge beckoning cat became even more aggressive in attacking humans. The boy, who had been observing for a while, noticed something peculiar and told his classmates to take off their mouse costumes. As expected, once they removed the costumes, the huge beckoning cat stopped attacking. However, just as everyone was celebrating their narrow escape, the cat suddenly turned and began attacking again, even more ferociously than before. After devouring a few more people, it suddenly focused its attacks on the girl. To save the girl, the boy put on a mouse costume to divert the cat's attention. The plan worked. The cat, attracted to the mouse costume, shifted its attacks back to the boy. But just as the cat was about to kill him, it suddenly stopped. At that moment, the boy heard the cat meowing. It turns out that the mouse costume allowed him to understand the cat's language. The smart boy quickly moved to the cat's back and began to soothe it, which surprisingly worked, and the cat fell asleep. The boy then grabbed the ball, ready to make the winning shot. But at this critical moment, his classmates began fighting over the spirit orb, fearing, due to the first round, that only the person who made the shot would survive. Their noisy argument woke the cat, which resumed its slaughter. With time running out, there was no opportunity to soothe the cat again. In a final burst of concentration, the boy grabbed the girl and ran to the locker room. He wrapped the spirit orb in a basketball and then pretended to be holding something else, deliberately exposing part of it to trick the cat into thinking the girl was holding the real orb. The plan worked. The cat attacked the girl, but on the other side, the smart boy had already thrown the basketball, but his skills were poor and he missed the shot. However, in the final second, the GI suddenly appeared and saved the day by successfully making the basket, ending the game. But just as the system announced the list of winners, it turned out that only the girl, the boy, and one other person were declared victors. The truth was that the GTL had killed the other 3 players, believing this was a divine selection game where only those truly capable deserved to survive, while those who wanted to coast through had to die. The huge beckoning cat then released a white smoke that knocked the three of them unconscious. When they awoke, they found themselves captured by wooden puppets, who announced the rules for the third round. This is when the real massacre began. The second player was blindfolded and brought onto the stage, where 4 wooden puppets circled him, singing and dancing. After the song, if the player couldn't identify which puppet was behind him, he would meet the same gruesome fate as the girl at the beginning of the game. When the puppets stopped, the man couldn't guess correctly, and the puppets brutally crushed him to death. Watching his companion being smashed to pieces filled the boy with an unprecedented sense of fear and pressure, especially since he was the next player. After the puppets finished their song, he too couldn't guess, and he collapsed to the ground in despair. Just as the timer was about to run out, the puppet on his right spoke, but instead of responding, the smart boy cleverly identified the puppet behind him. It turns out that during the short-haired girl's turn at the beginning of the game, the boy had recorded the sound of the puppet on the left. As the timer was about to expire, he pretended not to know the answer and played the recording, tricking the puppet on the right into speaking. By distinguishing the voice, he was able to figure out which puppet was behind him and successfully survived the round. After successfully identifying the puppet, it transformed into a key. The boy and the girl left the room and encountered other players who had also succeeded. Some had guessed correctly by luck, while the girl had obtained his key by killing other players. Soon, a puppet with 7 keyholes appeared, and after everyone inserted their keys, they were transported to the 4th round. This round, named Truth or Dare, was hosted by a polar bear. The bear posed questions to the players, and if anyone lied, the bear would brutally kill them. The first question was, "What is your favorite food?" Everyone answered truthfully, but the bear claimed someone lied and then killed a random bystander. The second question was whether the players liked or disliked the boy. The group answered honestly. 3 men said they disliked him, while 2 women said they liked him. However, the bear once again accused someone of lying and killed another person. After the bear's death, the boy suddenly realized that the bear itself was the liar. Earlier, the girl had performed a trick for the boy, so he knew the girl wasn't lying. This meant that none of the players were lying. It was the bear who was deceiving them by falsely accusing others. Once this was uncovered, the polar bear's facade shattered, revealing its true form, a black bear. After successfully completing the 4th round, the group reached the final challenge, a game of tag. They had to choose one person to be it. The it player had to catch the remaining 3 players before sunset to win, while those caught would be eliminated. The last player standing had the option to kick away a can containing explosives, sacrificing themselves to save the other players from being captured. After the puppet explained the rules, the players drew lots. Unfortunately, the greedy boy, who had killed other players to secure his chance at survival, drew the I card, making him the chaser in the game of tag. As expected, since the greedy boy was the strongest among them, it didn't take long for him to catch all the players. The boy chose to kick the can to save the 3 caught players. But to his surprise, the can didn't explode. The puppet then revealed that this round was just a game, and that no one would be eliminated. After this, the puppet kindly offered the 5 remaining players some ice cream. But as the final round of the game, it couldn't be that simple. The girl soon noticed something wrong with the ice cream sticks. They had the word death written on them. It turned out that to be the ultimate winner, not only did one need skill, but also luck. It just so happened that the smart boy and the girl drew the life sticks, while the greedy boy and the 2 other bystanders drew the death sticks. They were promptly eliminated by the puppet. The boy and the girl then successfully exited the cube. Meanwhile, other cubes around the city were also selecting their winners, with each survivor facing yet another series of trials. In the final scene, an old man appeared on the screen, seemingly declaring to the audience that he was the god overseeing everything. Thanks for watching. Please drop a heart to help our channel out.